Kate. Alex. Testing, testing. Alex. Yes. Testing, testing. Hi, Mikey. How are you? Hi, Mikey. How are you? Are you sure it's quieter? 100%.
All right, everybody, it is that time of the week. It is the Breaking Brews podcast. Like I say in preface every single week, you guys just carry on with your business like you normally would. If you don't want to be part of the podcast, you don't have to. You won't be on camera unless you walk right here and forward. So if you don't want to be on camera, don't walk this way. One thing we do ask for participation is to show an audience presence. We're going to introduce ourselves. I'll be like, what's up, guys? This is Breaking Brews, episode 10. This is me, this is him, and after we introduce my co-host, then you guys will just give a round of applause, and you guys don't have to participate the rest of the night. But if you do, raise your hand, and we'll call you guys out. But yeah, so we're going to be getting started. I'm going to make sure we're live. Yeah, I'm going to streaming and recording right now. I'm going to make sure we are live. The Wi-Fi is shoddy.
I know. We're live.
And I'm gonna have the cheat sheet up here on the table with us with like the notes on what we're talking about. So you know how it works, right?
Yeah, it's this or that, and then it's like
We
rambling.
talk about it, then we invite somebody up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know how it works.
Alex, I'm just gonna get started. So whenever you get it, I was wondering. Right.
We're live. We're live.
It's okay. We're live, but you can walk through. This part's not gonna be. Alrighty.
We good? We good?
We should be.
You want to wait for your drink?
Nah, because they seem to take their time, so I'm not too big in a rush about it. Testing.
I don't think my mic's hooked up to the speaker.
It should be. Talk.
Hello, hello.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is?
You just can't hear it because it's not hooked up to these. It's only hooked up to that.
Okay.
All right. Man, it is really okay. We're really far behind. All right. Just means we'll have to rush through it. That's why I do one person per topic now. Okay.
Yeah,
so
people were coming in like a ton.
So this will be it here. And then I won't actually have you up here for the interview. So after we're done with the this or that, you'll hop off.
Okay.
All right, cool. We're going to get started.
Am I going to introduce the this or that, or are you?
You can introduce the second one. So I'll introduce first, you'll introduce second, I'll introduce third.
Okay. And then am I interviewing or are you? Or
I'll be interviewing. I'll
You're
be interviewing, yeah.
interviewing
Because it's
these
only
people?
one guy, so I'm just...
Oh, no,
yeah.
the this or that.
Oh, we'll switch on and off.
Okay.
All right, guys, it's that time of the week again. This is Breaking Brews, episode 10. We are on that lucky number 10. I am your host, Mikey 2.
And I'm your co-host, Jackson Hensler.
All right, we're going to do that again, guys. So after we do that part, that's when you guys do the applause. All right, from the top. All right, it's that time of the week again. This is Breaking Brews, episode 10. I'm your host, Mikey 2.
And I'm your co-host, Jackson Hensler.
There it is. There it is. There it is. We're still learning. Even on episode 10, we're still learning. Well, this week, as you guys can tell, Lauren is almost back. Lauren is actively, thank you, Alex. Lauren is actively on her way home from New Orleans. We shipped her back to New Orleans to go get some Kava Bar footage, so I'm really excited about that. But, again, I have a great host. Maybe if we're lucky, Lauren will be back by the end of the episode. Probably not, but always shoot for the high hopes. But this week I am not joined by Nick. I'm joined by Jackson. Jackson has been a viewer of the podcast since the beginning. He was here for our first episode, so I thought how better to give back to the people that have been watching since the beginning to have one of them on here. So Jackson, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jackson. Not much to say. I mean, I've been coming here pretty much since open to Nocturne Teas in Melbourne. Love the community. It's been a great experience, and happy to be on the podcast tonight.
And that's the thing. So I'm really glad we had Jackson on here because Jackson will be able to tackle a lot of people we've had on here have been, people that mostly tend to stick around here, but Jackson tends to get around to other Kava bars. Like me and him hung out for one of our friend Sky's birthdays at Bula in Cocoa Beach.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun, and it's really good to see. If it's a good Kava bar, they're going to treat everybody as if like they're their best friend. And I feel like Bula does a really good job with that. Bula, I would say, is probably the most traditional Kava bar of all the ones we have in Brevard.
I'd say so, but it's also probably the smallest one as well.
Yeah?
I've been to.
So I would say Bula is slightly bigger than Kava Sutra. I feel like Kava Sutra Melbourne is the smallest Kava bar we have.
I've never been to Kava Sutra, so
we'll have to take you out there sometime.
Know.
It's really tight. So the thing about Kava Sutra Melbourne is it's probably close to the size of Bula. Okay. But imagine if you didn't have the section with the pool table and you cut it off right there. It's very narrow, but it goes back far. So like Kava Sutra Melbourne is probably from that window to the Nocturne sign on the wall. Oh, okay. It's probably that long, but probably as wide as that wall to where the couch ends, or ends on the other side.
Okay.
It's really tight, but they have a long bar. Their bar's probably a little shorter than that. But they have a pinball machine, which is really cool.
They do?
They have a pinball machine. That's like my favorite reason to go there is I think it's only in Melbourne they have the pinball machine. All their other locations are pretty big though. Like one here down the road in Palm Bay, they are much bigger. That one even has a stage in it, which is really cool in Palm Bay. It's like probably a little bit wider than the stage, but just as far like
width-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But no, that's really cool. We got a lot of cool Kava bars. That's the good thing about Brevard, though, is I think we have the second most Kava bars per capita, and I think Tampa's probably number one, then Miami, and then probably anywhere else. I mean, I feel like Florida's got it locked down on the Kava bars.
And I feel like Orlando doesn't have many for how big it is.
Well, so here's the thing is Orlando, it's kind of weird. So Orlando is just so big. Like you have like Sanford and Maitland and Lake Mary, but you also have Lake Buena Vista and actual Orlando and Kissimmee. Like all those, it's technically all Orlando. It's kind of how like Vieira is now its own city, but it used to be just part of Melbourne, and West Melbourne was its own was connected. So it's kind of similar how that is.
Okay.
But so we're gonna hop right into things. We're starting a little bit late today. We're going to get right into our first topic. We do this every single week. This is our segment we like to call This or That. Now, this is the part of the show where we talk about two things which we like, this or that, and then we talk about why we like them, and then we invite somebody from the audience to come up and talk about it, and it allows us just to break down that barrier and get the involvement in, which is a lot of fun to do, and I get to hear people's usually tell me why I'm wrong and why their answers are right. But, I'm used to it at this point. Well, let's hop right into it. So I'm pretty passionate about this first topic. Which do you prefer more? Would you rather have a gum? Would you rather have a stick of gum, or would you rather have a box of mints? And It can be for anything, stimulation or making your breath smell better. Which would you usually go for?
Honestly, like in a school setting, it would be gum.
Gum?
Like at work, talking to people, like on here, I brought mints instead of gum, so I'm not chewing.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, mints are definitely a better option, but gum is good in like school to keep focused.
So I don't know what it is, but so I have a really bad addiction with mints. Ever since my accident, it's kind of just been like a neurological stimulant to always have mints. Like I'll go through a tub of those icebreaker mints in about a day or two.
Oh, icebreakers
It's
are
bad.
the number one pick?
Dude, icebreakers, top mints. Better than Altoids, better than Tic Tacs. Tic Tacs aren't even mints because they don't make your mouth smell better. If anything, I feel like they make your mouth to yourself. After they're gone, they give you that weird taste in your mouth.
They're kind of more like a candy.
Like after you drink, like if you drink orange juice with milk, that's the kind of feeling I get whenever I drink.
a crazy
or
thing.
orange juice and then brushing your teeth. I get that same feeling.
I guess so.
But mints is my go-to. Now, when I was younger, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've stopped chewing gum because here's the thing with a mint, once it's done, it's gone. Like it just disintegrates in your mouth. With gum, eventually you have that gross in between where it's like really mushy, and if you have really bad like quality gum, my go-to gum was oh gosh, what was it called? It was the one that had the goose on it, I think. It was
The goose? I have no clue
Bubble
what you're
Yum.
talking about.
Bubble Yum. So Bubble Yum had a goose or some kind of
Bubble gum?
animal. Bubble Yum. So they had two flavors. They had the OG flavor, and then they had cotton candy, and that was the best, hands down. Then there was a pack of Trident gum that they stopped making, and it was so freaking good. It was grape lemonade.
I've never had it.
Dude, well, it's because they stopped making it. They
Well,
stopped
yeah.
making it. I think whenever I turned 14, they stopped
I
making
wouldn't
it.
have
But
had
it was Trident was trying to do that thing where they mash up flavors. Like they had strawberry, blueberry, elderberry, raspberry, some kind of stuff like that. But the best one overall was the grape lemonade, and they stopped making it was called Trident Splits, I think. But I would most definitely go for mints every single time now.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
I'm so like, I don't know, I feel weird about where if I want to throw my gum out the window, I feel like I'm littering, and I feel like if anybody sees it, they're like, oh, there goes that piece of shit.
I understand that.
With mints, it just goes away after you're done.
Yeah,
and,
it's also a limited time thing. Like
yeah.
You're not chewing on it
and I
all
feel like it
day.
lasts longer. With gum is really of that, in the essence, make your breath smell good while you have it in your mouth, but once you get rid of that, it's gone.
I also feel like it loses flavor and just gets
Oh
like
my
absolutely
gosh.
disgusting.
A cheap gum usually will taste amazing, but then goes bad after like 5 minutes.
Like 5 to 10 minutes is horrible.
Well, go ahead and tell the folks what you're drinking at home, actually.
Currently, I'm drinking a Milky Way. Kate made it her way. It's amazing. It's actually my first time having this drink.
Yeah?
Really good, very sweet, very chocolate. Kind of tastes a little bit like coffee, honestly, and I really like it.
That's probably the most popular drink next door. The guys next door that work at the Domino's, at least each night they get 2 or 3 of them. They love them. It's their favorite. They get the Milky Way, but with the dark matter kava, which is like the cinnamon kava.
Oh yeah.
It's really good.
What are you drinking?
I am double fisting tonight. I got my Mitra watermelon seltzer, and then I also have the Mikey, which is pomegranate, raspberry, simple syrup with white tea. You can either do white or green. I usually stick with white during the podcast to keep me energetic. But this is my favorite. And that's funny right now. I'm looking at the top of it. It kind of looks like a good cut of like steak, like Wagyu steak. It's kind of got like, it's just the way the foam is.
I was
but
thinking more of like the sand art that people be doing. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
It kinda looks like
yeah.
sand art.
They put in a lot of care into these drinks here, and that's kind of like my favorite part about coming here is like, it's kind of funny. Most kava bars, I go to them with, I go to a kava bar usually for the atmosphere, not always for the drink, but for here, I'm lucky enough that I get a good atmosphere and a good drink.
Yeah, you
I
can
feel
kind
like
of
a
tell.
kava bar that can match, equalize those two things, the bomb.
Yeah, you can kind of tell that they went through a lot of flavor testing to make sure that everything was perfect and enjoyable, and like weaned out like the things that nobody liked versus the things that people did like.
One thing to kind of go about talking about with drinks is some kava bars here they don't tend to do much of either, but it's because I feel like whenever you talk about these two things, you have to add something to make the drink more pleasant. Now, our next topic is going to be, which do we like better? When it comes to a drink, would you rather have a rim on it with some kind of flavoring, or would you rather have a garnish? Like, a garnish could be anything from just a cherry in the drink to like having that pineapple wedge on your... Most definitely can't hear it without that on. It stops recording the audio if you do that. Okay. Why? 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 If it's the Magic people, we need it tonight because we have a guest coming on that has to speak to the audience. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this next topic is which do we like better whenever it comes to having our drinks? Would you rather have a rim or a garnish on your drink? So now a garnish can be anything from a cherry, pineapples, something just added into the drink that's something physical and not particularly artificial, but something that just adds to it.
Yeah.
Now, a rim is something like a lot of places, I know a lot of kava bars have started doing this, where they take either honey or agave, they put it on the rim, and they either do cinnamon sugar, or if you're doing a flavored drink, one cool thing you can do at home, if you want to just add a little spice to your drinks, is buy a pack of Jell-O powder, and then just dip your rim in that.
I mean, honestly, I prefer garnishes. More of like I get to choose how much I want of that. Yeah. With a rim, it's a little harder because it is on the rim. You are drinking from where, you're drinking from where that is instead of being able to choose yes or no. Do I want to have that extra flavor in it? So I'd 100% prefer garnishes over a rim any day of the week.
So now here's the thing is I'm what they call an unhealthy eater. So anything that's unnecessarily healthy in my drink, I don't know, man. It's just it throws it off slightly. Because here's the thing is I don't like. I feel like sometimes, especially when people put like a lemon garnish, you get the lemon seeds in there, and or especially oranges, you get like the pulp or something like that, or you get like it's kind of like a fiber almost from the fruit inside the drink, especially if they don't. A bad kava bar will just drop that sucker in there. A good kava bar slits halfway through the fruit and then puts it on the edge.
Or putting a toothpick through it.
Yeah.
And hanging it, like suspending it above
that
the
is
drink.
Pretty cool. I like stuff like that. Oops, I totally texted the wrong person. Boom, there we go. See, this is the best thing about doing it live is all this shit gets edited out in post-production. So, we are going to edit something real quick, and then we're going to hop back on here and keep talking about this.
All right.
Alex, turn down the output slightly and tell me if that adjusts that up there. Testing. Now. So turn it back to where it was, and then Alex, go slightly turn down each of the left and right knobs. Zeke, if you just want to turn, it's the two knobs closest to me. Alex. Just slightly turn them down. I just want to make sure they don't turn off the audio.
Alex, are you able to hear me? Okay.
So because
you've been able to hear me the whole time?
We have
okay.
Tonight is like specifically coming to talk to like people about businesses and like how to do certain things or whatnot. Like he's coming here to talk to people directly that are coming out to listen to. Is it the Magic people that are complaining? To be fair, I have had way more people complain that we stopped projecting than people complaining that we do it. And like, even if it's quiet or whatnot, I just need something to go out through the sound. Like, tell me how it sounds now. Like, go stand out there. This already sounds quieter, but how does it sound from there? Is that better? Okay, cool.
I would say...
Alex, does it affect your sound?
Testing.
Yeah, so I will say you'll need to speak up a little bit.
I need to speak up.
Cool.
Okay.
So, I'm going to start back from where I was saying with this. So, I like whenever you do rims or not because here's the thing, is with the honey and agave, most of it's not going to flip off, but it's kind of funny. Like, I've never really been a smoker, ever. But there's one like cigar that I have that they dip the leaf in cognac, and then so every time you lick your lips and then you take a puff from the cigar, every time you lick your lips, every time you take a hit, your lips become sweet. So then you lick your lips, and it's just a nice, pleasant. Especially so with cigars, it is slightly different because you have the bitterness of the cigar. But with a drink or whatnot, I feel like some teas can be bitter, and it just adds. So like, let's say if you're a bar that likes to focus more on the strength of your tea, it's always going to come off bitter, and it's going to be hard to mask that bitterness. So if somebody can lick their lips of having like a cinnamon sugar rim on their drink, or like like if you're having a strawberry kratom tea, you put a strawberry jello rim around it. It's just something to make it pop a little bit.
I guess, but also natural syrups. Great alternative to make something sweeter. And I feel like garnishes just kind of look more neat when you're looking at it from like a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Also, having it like a standard, garnishes are usually standard on drinks.
Yeah.
While like rim, like sugar, maybe be salt.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those be standard on drinks and kava bars, really.
Really? So there's probably you're right. There's probably only about 3 or 4 that actually do it, which in a grand scheme of like how many kava bars we were talking about we have here, it isn't a lot.
Yeah,
but I
really
like.
Not.
I also think the presentation looks slightly better now. Like, if you're going for the island themed kava bar or the traditional themed kava bar, having the fruit on the rim does look nice and it looks more traditional. But if you're trying to go for that, like, more of a bar scene, I feel like the rims are kind of a nice. So I feel like each, like, depending on the kava bar, it really does affect what I'm in the mood for.
100%. It does matter the kava bar atmosphere as well. Like, the difference between Nocturne and Bula is astronomical that I would almost expect a rim here versus a garnish, while at Bula I expect garnishes versus a rim.
Yeah, and just the way they do their cups, I feel like it would be awkward. So that is the one hard thing with a cup. So, like, if you don't have cups that are like this or even smaller, it's harder to do the rim because, realistically, you have to fit it into, like, a margarita glass type
100%.
deal. Well, yeah, so we're going to go on to the last topic, and then we're going to invite some people up for the topics we've talked about already, switching it up, see how it works tonight. So, this next topic, our final topic for the this or that segment is, which would you be more likely to use, scented lotions or cologne/perfume?
Honestly, it would be cologne or perfumes.
Yeah.
I mean, I started getting tattoos very young.
Yeah.
And I was never able to use scented lotions because of that due to infections.
Okay.
So I really wouldn't have a good standpoint on this because I haven't really tried it much, but I 100% prefer colognes over
I'm gonna have Alex come up here when we talk about this because me and him kind of talked about this yesterday. Okay. I think he has a good take on it, so we'll bring him up here in a little bit. But I'm kind of with you on the cologne. So with cologne or whatnot, honestly, there's some like girl perfumes. I feel like we're out of the labeling girl and guy perfume
100%.
colognes. But like, okay. You don't see a guy wearing 1,000 Wishes from Bath & Body Works. But you know what? Honestly, that is way better than most of the dude scents you get at like the men's labeled products that you get at Bath & Body Works. 1,000 Wishes. There's one that's like a Japanese cherry blossom. Or even some of the Victoria's Secret ones smell really good. And like, I think it's almost unfair with how perfumes compared to colognes are. I feel like colognes are very short term, but you can spray yourself with that Victoria's Secret stuff and you smell like that for like 3 days. With a cologne, I feel like your cologne goes out within like the first hour of you having it.
I low-key feel the same way, honestly.
And I'm not trying to spend $200 on a cologne where people are like, oh, well, you have to spend a little more to get that. Then how come girls can go out to Victoria's Secret and go get a perfume that's like $25 and that bottle will last them, like, I guess I'm kind of basing it more on, like, when I was in high school. A girl's bottle of, their Victoria's Secret will last them the entire school year 100%. And through the summer. Like, it just sucks. It sucks with guy colognes because, honestly, I would rather just spray myself. It's funny, I have a bottle of Victoria's Secret cologne. It's the lavender and vanilla scent that they had. It was from like 2 years ago or something like that, but I just keep a little bit of it because if I want to go out and I want to smell nice,
I mean,
plus it's the added bonus that it seems like I've been hanging out with a girl.
That is true. That is true.
But with lotions, I also have that texture thing. I do not like
Same.
I'll pass out. If you touch me with lotion, bro, I'm out. I'll pass out, hit my head, die.
And I feel like so many focus on the scent versus the feel.
And I feel like some of them are nauseating.
No, they're extremely strong.
Sorry, Sandy, but my stepmom, she uses lotion religiously, and like I would get headaches on the way to school when I was a kid, especially during Christmas, because she would get that peppermint lotion, and it's just so, I don't know, it's just so piercing, and like that's the kind of like scent I don't want lasting for like weeks.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want like candy apple on my skin for a week and a half, 2 weeks, even a week.
I feel like a good happy medium was, I don't know if they still do it. It is like still like a Bath and Body Works thing. Okay. But you remember those little hand sanitizer, little things like you would hang on your backpack?
Oh yeah, the ones like
they're just like they're
like grade school, right?
Yeah, like they're really small. Like they're like no bigger than this, and they clip onto your backpack, and it was just like a little hand sanitizer thing. But I feel like that was the happy medium because like and I think it was Bath and Body Works that did it, or it might have started at Walmart and then or Bath and Body Works bought it from Walmart. But like you could buy body wash that would smell like that, and then anytime you'd use the hand sanitizer and like lather yourself, it would reactivate that scent, and you would just use like just a squirt of it,
like a little tiny little
dab. I feel like there should be more companies like that. Like, because I feel like Bath and Body Works covers a lot of stuff. They cover candles, they cover bath washes, hair products, stuff like that. But I feel like there needs to be a company that comes out that's just strictly cologne reactivator, I guess.
Okay, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, on the topic, a lot of scented lotions also have textures to them. That you'll feel like on your skin for like the next day or so.
What's butter or shea butter or something like that? Like it has the little beads in it.
That with hand sanitizers as well. Like I hate the ones
like
that
the
have,
ones
like,
of glitter beads. And bitter beads.
I can't do that. It's just unenjoyable to do at that point.
Well, we're gonna invite some people up here to come talk about these topics. So I'm gonna hop off and I'm gonna go grab somebody. Okay. And I'll send them your way. All right. And I'll be right back.
Do I need to talk louder? He's saying that he can hear me.
Try and match my volume a little bit.
Okay.
But no pressure.
I'm good. You can hear me perfectly? Yeah, like when I'm like, okay. It was like facing all the way over there. I had to like talk into it like over here. No, you're good. You're good. It's a lot easier this way. He's gooning people. Of course he is. He's a lover. He is a lover. You are stealing his seat.
Thank you.
All right. Let's start off with you introducing yourself. Tell me how long you've been part of the Kava community and all that as well.
I'm Nikki. I've been part of the Kava community for maybe about two and a half years.
Right.
And I've been a Kava tender for about 6 months now.
Okay, what Kava bar do you work at?
It's a Chameleon Kava Lounge down in like Rockledge, Cocoa area.
Okay. How are you liking it over there? How are you liking the culture, all of that?
I like it. When I first started like in the Kava community, it was more of like a Melbourne area, and I found that like North Brevard has like its own subgenre, like own community. It's very interesting. Definitely, I've only branched out to like other areas since I started working there, like checking out Orlando and like the west coast of Florida and stuff like that.
All right, cool. What Kava bar in Orlando have you tried?
I tried the Kava Culture.
Okay, I heard really good things about Kava Culture. Mm-hmm. That and I think it's called Sodo.
Oh,
Sodo
I've heard
Kava.
of that one, but I haven't been there though. But yeah.
I mean, but let's get into this question. Which do you prefer, gum or mints?
Gum or mints? I'm like definitely more of a mints girl.
If you can speak up a little bit.
Sorry.
You're good.
Definitely mints though. I feel like gum loses its flavor too fast.
Also, I feel like gum, like really cheap gum, becomes like tacky and tough after chewing it for like 30 minutes.
Have you ever had it like almost like melt? Like,
Yes.
It like dissolves.
I forget what the brand would be. I think it would be like Mentos.
Yeah.
Like they always dissolve. They always feel super, super tacky.
Yeah.
Also, what are you drinking? I forgot to ask you.
This is the Cosmos Cava.
Okay.
It's like a strawberry shortcake flavor, I think.
Okay.
It's good.
You liking it?
Yeah. You want a sip? You
Sure,
have a
I'll
straw?
just sip. Oh, that is really good.
Right? Kate, excellent job.
Kate maked it?
Mhm.
Okay. What like brand of mints, like if you had to pick, would be like your all-time number one? And then is there ever a situation where you would prefer gum over mints?
Definitely yes.
Okay.
Like, I will say if I have anything stuck in my teeth, if I ate anything gross, like I need the gum. I feel like it like clears you out.
Okay.
In terms of brand, I was an Altoids girl for a long time.
All right.
I feel like it's like year-long periods, like Altoids and like icebreakers.
Oh, okay. So you go through phases with your mints, going back and forth. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable that you wouldn't want to taste the same formula every single day for long amounts of time.
Right? Do you have a favorite?
Right now, I'd say Altoids.
Yeah.
I was a Lifesavers guy for a very long time, probably 4 years.
I like
straight.
those. Those are kind of tried and true.
They really are. They're like a very good backup, and I'd say like they're simple, so it's a lot easier for like. It's always a good fallback.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying something new, you can always go get a Lifesaver.
That's true. They're cheap too.
They
Like
are. They're very cost effective. You can get like a family size bag for $10.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Altoids are like $6 for that tiny little thing.
I know.
But and then, how long have you been coming to Nocturne? Is this your first time? Have you been coming for a while?
I've been coming for a little while. So Micah actually used to work with me at the Kava Bar at the Chameleon.
Okay.
So I was his manager. So when he did his first guest tending night here, I came, I checked it out. And then, like I said, I don't live over here, so I don't come super duper often, but I've been coming regularly.
Yeah, I usually go to either Bula or here. I kind of live in between both of them. It's about a 30-minute drive to either one. So,
Damn.
I mean, I come here when there's more events and like school, chilling out, getting stuff done. I'll go to Bula and just knock out everything. So.
That's true.
But it was nice having you on.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. Of course.
All right. Alex, did he find someone for the next question? You're coming up for the third question. That was the first question. It will be scented lotion versus colognes. But are you able to hear me over the speaker? All right. Still have as much time for you to be able to get somebody.
All right. We're going to be having Rory come up here. Rory has the record for most appearances on the podcast, so we're really excited to have Rory back up here. Rory's going to tell us which he likes more and why, gum or mints.
I like Mikey more.
Oh.
Oh.
You can get that anytime.
Oh, hello, Mr. Beast here. Hello.
Off-brand Mr. Beast.
Off-brand Mr. Least. What was the question again? What were you asking me?
It was, which do you prefer more and why, gum or mints, and why?
Gum or mints?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you want something delicious that you just like sits in your mouth and dissolves, or do you want to chew on a rubber band?
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, because here's the thing is, whenever I chew gum, it's like I never know what to do with it when I'm done. Like, I feel bad if I throw it out the car window, and then, like, if I put it in a piece of paper, I'm most definitely going to lose that piece of paper and it's going to show and melt into my carpet in my car.
Yeah.
But with the mint, it's just so easy. And like, here's the thing: I was saying with gum, that flavor lasts for maybe like
30 seconds.
Yeah. But with a mint, it lasts as long as it's in your mouth plus an additional hour. So a good mint will last you a good 30 minutes or so for an hour and a half. That gets you through any dinner, any date, any movie, for the most part, as long as you're not watching a Marvel movie that's like 4 hours long.
Or eating at an Asian restaurant. Yeah. Look, let me tell you, I have failed a lot of dates eating at Asian restaurants. That is like my go-to
They put
cuisine.
onions and garlic in everything.
Oh God, bro, you smell like a fish market after walking out of one of those things, bro. I
oh my
don't know.
gosh, you're gonna get us canceled.
Maybe you just gotta find a girl that likes fish. I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm not trying to feel like I'm going to the gym for my jaw, you know.
There's something called tough gum, and tough gum is like it's really hard gum.
Yeah.
That it's used for mastication.
Ooh,
no, but it's supposed to. You're supposed to chew it, and it's supposed to build your accentuate your jawbones and your jawline.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I've also seen some health professionals come out and also say that it disforms your jaw.
I'm not about it.
So yeah, like I said, I guess gum just not good, no good health.
Especially like if you're an adult with gum, you can have gum if you're an adult and have braces, or any age and have braces. You can have a mint no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much you can have as many mints as you want as your stomach will allow you. But I've gotten to the point where I eat mint so much that I no longer get the anymore because I'm immune to it. My body has overcome and adapted to the fact that I eat so many mints in a day that I no longer get sick from eating them. So
hey, Altoids, watch out! You're about to get cleared out by Mikey.
No. Icebreakers.
Icebreakers.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. Altoids. Altoids are gross.
Nah, bro. Altoids is.
Altoids is like you're putting a piece of sidewalk chalk in your mouth.
Yeah, but it's good, man. That's what like your grandfather used in the Vietnam War. I mean.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a reason why he used it in Vietnam, and everybody now is using icebreakers.
I don't know, man.
Things are outdated.
Icebreaker feels like it's like comparing like an American Spirit and like a blue raspberry vape. You know, it's like two different things. You know.
Wow, what a comparison, man.
Yeah.
I think every Midwest emo person is applauding you right now.
Well, yeah, I love vapes. Oh my God.
Rory, you've been doing a lot lately, man. I haven't been able to keep tabs on you.
I'm a mysterious person.
You're doing the D&D campaign, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a D&D campaign with some of the Kava tenders here and some of the Magic group here. I'm also I'm surprised that I have time for the D&D campaign.
I know this guy's Mr. Always Busy.
Yeah, I know. They got
Mr.
me locked
Beast,
in the
more like
fucking
Mr.
brew
Busy.
Closet. Yeah, Mr. Busy. No, they got me locked in the brew closet. I mean, I had most of the brewing here, and then I'm R&Ding like 2 more projects here at Nocturne. So
yeah,
stay posted.
One thing, so we're gonna be starting up a mini episode each week that we're gonna add where we kind of check in with what's going on around the bar, like the D&D campaign. We'll have an episode dedicated to that. Check in with some people, especially with some of your drinks you got coming out.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
Actually, it was funny. Someone ordered a Borealis.
So actually, we changed the name.
Oh, you changed the name.
Awkward. I'm so sorry. Gage came up to me. He said, "Why did you name it after a winter phenomenon?" I said, "Oh yeah, you're right.
It's the fall." I'm surprised you didn't call it the Rorealis.
The Rorealis.
Because that makes more sense.
I used to get made fun. No.
Used to.
No. No, he still does. He bullies me. Let's just say bullied, not even made fun. But they would they'd find everything that they can put my name into, so I stay away from that,
You're telling me, dude, they used to rhyme with my name with they used to call me Michael Pooh.
Michael Pooh.
Michael Jew.
Michael
and I'm not
Jew.
even Jewish, so I feel bad for all my Jewish friends that had to hear me get called that.
Well,
What else? Michael Stew, all that fun stuff, all the anything that rhymes with two.
Michael
Pooh is probably the worst.
Can I start calling you Michael Pooh?
I feel like you're the only one who can call me that.
Ooh.
You get exclusive rights to that.
That's good. When are you going to take me on a date, by the way? This man has told me he was going to take me on a date for like 3 weeks now.
And every single time this guy's had to reschedule.
Hey, look, I'm so sorry.
He's
that
a busy
Corbin calls
man.
Me up,
Hey.
I barely get enough time to sleep nowadays,
You're getting old these days.
You're just
Your back's going to start hurting.
Yeah, my back, man. I'm getting to the right
Carrying
age
the weight of all these
27,
kegs.
It's the arthritis is starting to set in. the dementia. I feel like Sleepy Joe. It's great.
First political topic. First political topic of the.
Who did
we
that?
made it 10 episodes without getting into it.
Who did that?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Roy. We appreciate you coming out here, keeping it going strong with this record of being the most recurring character.
I'll make sure the podcast knows so they can remind you. Beginning of December.
Ooh, what's going on?
New stuff is coming out.
New stuff is in.
A lot of good stuff at Nocturne. All
drinks?
Right? Yeah, drinks. New products. Let's say that there's some existing product that I'm trying to
Breaking Brews
now
tea?
make better. So that's all I'll say. But we do have winter drinks coming out. I'll do a little sneak drop. A little
all right.
pre-release hype. One kava, one kratom. They're winter theme. You guess in the comments or the whatever the.
I have a feeling I could guess what one of them is.
Is this on YouTube or?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah. Guess in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. And,
oh my gosh!
The Beast, Mr. Beast giveaway. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.
All right, thank you, Roy.
I love you, Mike. I love.
Yeah,
you,
Bubba, go get it. Go get it.
Mikey poo poo.
All right, so I'm gonna call up. We're gonna have. So this is one of our new guys here working with the team. His name's Alex. I've known Alex now for about 5 years, and we met in college. And he's just been one of the people that stood the test of time. Alex is gonna come up here and talk. He's the one I was talking about earlier that mentioned which he likes more and why he likes what he does. So Alex is gonna talk to us about which does he prefer, scented lotions or cologne/perfumes.
It would definitely be colognes or perfumes. Because one is like very, I'll say like time managing in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because with lotions you got to put time and effort, making sure you cover your whole body and everything else. And
gives me like the
heebie-jeebies. Exactly. And even with the perfumes and colognes, like you just spray on, you're out the door, no issue.
Yeah.
Because even if it's like, oh, okay, I don't want to take a shower because you haven't. I
get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's like you didn't do much the day before, and you feel like I want to smell nice. I don't smell like rancid, like working out so much.
I think you could do that and like spray in shampoo or spray in conditioner.
Yeah, exactly. And I won't shit on entirely on lotions because one is it's the only place I'll put lotion on will be my face before sleeping. But
I feel like if you're someone who has dry skin, like you have to have lotion or whatnot, which kind of sucks. I'm glad I don't have dry skin because at that point, dude, I would just look like a ghoul at that point. I would not do it.
Yeah.
If they told me you would lose all your skin on your arms, I would just die. I will never use lotion. It's too gross. But here's the thing is with lotion is you leave residue everywhere with that. It's just kind of gross. Lotion is just really uncomfortable for me. And I feel like it leaves a trail. You could not sneak around or hide anything with wearing lotion because you get all the oils and stuff. You leave fingerprints everywhere. Yeah. I feel like that's like a big window store's worst nightmare or a mirror store's worst nightmare.
Tell me about it, because when I was growing up with my older sister, it's she would always slaps on everything on her, and then it's like, hey Alex, slaps in my face with full of lotion.
Dude, I would literally die. I would die. No.
But yeah, definitely much more of a cologne guy.
Good stuff. Okay. Well, you guys are gonna see Alex a little bit more. Alex is one of our new sound guys.
Yeah. And what else? I'm your best bud.
I don't understand what you mean by this at all. Someone has a question? Okay. Yeah, it was.
What was question 2?
By Nikki. Nikki talked about rims and garnishes.
I could talk about rims and garnishes.
It's all right. We'll skip over it. That's crazy. I told Nikki, girl, I'm gonna get on you. All right. Well, that's crazy. Did you tell? Get a load of this guy. All right. Well, Alex is gonna be here for a little bit. He's going to be helping us make sure the sound sounds better for you guys each week. He's going to make sure that the audio sounds good. We look good on camera. And obviously he's doing a good job. Look at him right now. He's probably glowing. We are filming this week in 4K, so I can't wait to see how much storage this takes up. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun to see. Yeah, it's going to take a lot. When we filmed it with Tyler's camera, it took up so much space. But yeah, so we're going to get Alex off here, and we're going to have
somebody special.
Yeah, I just realized he's not here. I'll make a phone call in between. We'll go to break, and we'll be back here in a minute. Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about if he's not here. I am? Why don't you say something? Then why didn't you tell me that before I went up here? Oh. Oh. Well, there'll be a lot of editing to do this episode. 100%. Oh, you're good. I just saw your text. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, bye. All right, well, he is 15 minutes away, so... Huh? No, it's too late to go back. It would be it would throw off the whole thing, because we've already talked about it. I try and do as little cutting as I can and bouncing back and forth. I already messed it up this week by going, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Who is here? Damn. I don't know. Jacob, you want to come up here and talk? Yeah, we'll bring you on here. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Oh, he's just grabbing his drinks and stuff.
You're good. Mikey,
Speak? Wait, you didn't turn that up, did you? No? Okay. Okay, cool. Jacob, we're going to talk about... The
birds and the bees?
You know it. Yeah. So it's funny, we're actually going to... I'm not going to be able to touch this the rest of the show because...
It's a problem.
We're going to film the last part of the episode now.
Okay.
So... This is going to be as if the interviews already happened. For those of you that are watching live, you get to watch how I fix a mistake. So
that's supposed to not be here.
Yeah. Or no, I can leave it here. I just can't drink it for the rest of the episode now.
But it would be weird because if this is supposed to be at the end, then you're supposed to be talking about that before the end.
Yeah, but here's the thing is I'm going to record, I'm just not going to drink it. I'm just going to leave it. Ooh, excuse me.
But it makes it really odd because think about this. In placement of like the video, if you're
well then it won't be in the episode. Oh, okay. Yeah.
If we're the end of it,
okay.
That would not be there.
And then I can drink it while I'm interviewing. Okay.
When you actually have it, because it's the actual placement of what.
We need to hire this guy. Oh my gosh.
The segment of time would only make sense in that order.
All right.
Or else you have a prop that's sitting here at the very end that's supposed to be already be gone.
See, this guy's so smart.
But I can keep mine. Haha.
All right. Well, we're going to talk to you about it. Well, it's not really just, we're just going to be talking about things in general. So,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of everything that we've done wrong.
I want you to talk more about your program that you work with.
The Sea Cadets?
Yes, the Sea Cadets. I know it had the word cadets in it. So go ahead and introduce yourself. People have known you from episodes previously, but, we always like to keep...
I got lucky to only have one episode previously. It was talking about us.
Yeah.
But as everyone knows, in that episode, it was actually the introduction of the band, introduction of myself, and thank you for having me back.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure. Outside from being in the Navy, which I got to give you guys a little bit of a highlight on, I also work with a youth organization called the Sea Cadets. It's one of those special things. A lot of people kind of conflate that with the Civil Air Patrol or the ROTCs of the school system.
Yeah.
And it's kind of its own entity. It's a broken out program off of its own. And the best way I like to describe it is kind of like with ROTC, that's Monday through Friday, you're in school, you're doing it the entire time. Well, with the Sea Cadets, it's like being a reservist. You're only doing it on the weekends, it's only part-time, it's not a direct affiliation with the school systems at all.
It would be, I would compare it, I think, maybe almost, obviously there's a little bit more to it than it, but as far as I'm concerned, it seems almost kind of like Scouts, almost.
The Scouting organization is even its own off-branch from outside of that entirely. So it's all about who the funding is. Our funding for our program comes from the Navy League, United States Navy League. Our sponsors that we have are with, in our region, the MOA, which is the Military Officers Association.
Okay.
The Navy League is our direct sponsor. We have the Treasure Coast Navy League that helps us with funding and stuff like that.
Okay.
And as far as on the national scale, it's the U.S. Navy League and the United States Navy that actually comes up with it versus BSA with the Boy Scouts of America.
So now what's something, what are you doing? Like what activities do you guys do? What events do you guys take part in? What do you guys do to...
Why are we who we are?
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to find a way where it doesn't sound so mean, but like what do you guys do?
Why do you call yourselves that and what do you do with it? No. So the starting age is from the ages 10 all the way till basically whenever you decide you don't want to do it anymore. Really, there is no age out, but they break down different increments. So from 10 to 13, you're considered what's called a league cadet. It's a younger group.
Yeah.
And it's based again off of the marching, maneuvering, learning about the military on the very bare basics level that a 10-year-old would be able to understand.
Okay.
Then you go from 13 till you're 18, and that's what's considered the Sea Cadet area. So the Sea Cadets themselves, they're part of the same organization. They do a lot more in-depth training, and they go away for longer time frames than what the younger groups would be able to go to.
Okay.
A lot more seamanship, and they do use the military ranking, so they get all the way through first class, second class, chief is their highest rank in the program. And then from there, you have basically another little integrated section from 18 to 21, which is called your midshipmen. Think about this like your college students, those that go to Annapolis, things of that nature, and sometimes those that stay back home get to actually be a part of this program and doing that aspect of it.
So I'm assuming I'm assuming you did something similar to this when you were younger? Or did something like this didn't exist?
Actually, this program's been around for decades.
Really? Okay.
As far as back as 1982.
Okay.
Here within the United States. The other part for me, though, I actually stumbled upon this program. When I was younger, I was part of the Sea Scouts, which is actually part of BSA.
Okay.
Did a lot of sailing over in Dunedin. The group I was with does no longer exist anymore. But that's how I got introduced to the water and stuff like that. So fast forward in time, I was living in New Jersey, and I was looking for getting involved with the Sea Scouts again, but couldn't find a group within my area. So I saw this little square sign, and it said Sea Cadets, and I was like, oh, check it out, see what it's all about. And coming along and behold, the command that they utilized was right behind where I worked.
Okay.
Didn't even know it.
Wow.
The entire time I was there in Jersey for 3 years. So I instantly got involved with them and worked my way through as the adult ranking side of it. Became an instructor, was getting some active duty time with them as well as working with them on the side, which was really beneficial for me as an active duty member because I was able to give these young adults, as I call them, the opportunity to really experience what the real Navy was and what we actually did and give them the real life situations as they were getting into the real world going forward. Fast forward that, 2020 of course came around and we all know what took place then.
It's crazy. I mean, I feel like were you in Florida during COVID or no?
I was in the midst of moving from Georgia. From Jersey to Florida.
One thing I always say is I feel like the ideal place to be was Florida during the pandemic.
Yeah, because you guys didn't care.
Here's the thing is, okay.
I'm kidding.
Now, like, I don't know the numbers that well, but I feel like Florida did pretty well for, like, the fact that we had a lot of old people, but, like, we just kept living our lives, and it didn't seem to have too much of a huge effect.
No, you're absolutely right.
Like, obviously, our population is slightly different compared to a state like New York or California, but, like, we do have a lot of people, and a lot more people in smaller confined. I mean, if you look at Melbourne, I think Melbourne has, something like almost, if not 500,000 people, over 500,000 people in Brevard County in general. I think I said Melbourne, I meant Brevard County. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like, especially because I went to Orlando. I went to Universal 3 times a week for 3 months, and I didn't get COVID once.
So it was really interesting, especially as someone that was traveling during that time frame, not to segue from the bigger picture, and what it affected is that for the cadet program, we were really much thriving all before that, very, very robust programs, and this is across the nation.
Yeah.
COVID came around, and it basically stopped.
Yeah.
Shut down the
A
program.
lot of people throughout the country, that's kind of what happened.
And it was interesting because when I was traveling, I left Jersey in July, but in that travel time frame, I had gone back and forth between New York and Jersey and down here to Florida. And like New York, just to get into the state, if you were flying, you had to write down paperwork, where you're going, how long you're going to be there for, everything. They were very, very strict, and that's from the flying aspect. While down here, it was like business is normal. Nothing changed.
It's crazy.
And then I go back up north again, and it was like a whole nother, it's like things are shut down. You only could work during certain hours. Yeah.
You know what I noticed, which was kind of funny, is while other parks across the world, even Disney World that's here in Florida, while their numbers went down because of the pandemic, Universal Studios numbers went up, which was crazy. So, and you know what's funny is Universal is praised by the United States government for how well they handled precautions and managed to keep it running. I mean, better than
amusement parks that clearly could be.
Disney took a pretty big hit. I think they took close to like a 5 million guest hit or something like that annually, but Universal gained, I think, 1 million or 2 million people during the pandemic to their record numbers.
Interesting.
Like, I mean, that's crazy having stuff like that. You really, like, it really goes to show that if, like, you know, if you want something to work and you want it to happen, it'll happen.
I think the workarounds for the safety was the biggest part. And that's something that even when I moved down here, with going back to the cadets aspect of it, was very much in effect. I mean, as I joined the reserves and stuff like that, we had precautions within our own command and how we had to operate with the cadets. We only had certain areas that we can work within and confine, wearing masks and things of that nature. So we definitely had to take every precaution. A lot of the camps and things that they would go to were on halt during that window. But as we all know, COVID then relapsed, and we've now kind of built our way back out of it. And but the numbers still are hurting and trying to keep it going in the same aspect that it was beforehand.
Well, so I will say, it almost seems like that was all a fever dream. Like, if you think about it, like, you don't hear much about it anymore. And, like, all those regulations, for the most part, I mean, I've gone to New York City since the pandemic, and things have gone back to normal. And it's just crazy. Like, imagine what we're going to be telling people in the future. Like, there was a time where the whole world just went silent.
I think it falls along the same. I mean, it's not even as drastic, but I know there was time frames where we had like the anthrax that came around, or I mean, for those that remember 9/11 being a historical event of mass levels that took. I mean, we are a generation that went through something big.
I would say your generation, I feel like, went through it because you are slightly older than me. So I was alive during 9/11, but I don't like it. Didn't have as big of a impact on me as I'm sure as it did for you. But like, it's crazy. It's just crazy to see like our things will always be different since COVID, but same thing like with the TSA. Like everything is different since 9/11.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's the generation 2006 to 2012, that generation's equivalent of that, 9/11 would probably be
the COVID crisis.
Yeah, I think that just further back from that, I mean, none of us in this room, unless you're listening on the podcast wise, know anything about the Great Depression.
I was going to say,
that's an era
each generation had something pretty big, and like, I almost didn't think we were going to have anything. Like, I mean, that's not my generation, but I mean,
you don't want it. It ain't fun.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like, I mean, I was still pretty young during 9/11, but whenever COVID hit, it kind of came out of nowhere. I remember I was in college, and we had it was spring break. And it was funny, Alex that was just on here, he went with us. We had a big beach party, and they were like, hey, there's this thing going around. School, just be wary, school might not come back for like a week or so. And then we didn't go back to school for like 7 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And things were different when we came back, because I also worked at the college that I went to school at, and just things changed as working for technically kind of like a government position. You work for the government with that. It's just crazy. Like, it was crazy, all the things they were regulating and mandating. Yep. But whenever you are kind of more in a liberally minded place when you work at a college compared to the rest of Florida, which is very conservative in a sense where, like, government buildings were way more, don't come in here if you're sick, stay
essential
away.
Personnel.
Yeah.
It was definitely essential.
I was
personnel.
most definitely not essential, but but they still wanted me around. I'll take a paycheck.
I mean, even for me in Jersey, as it came around, I mean, like, for a good month, I want to say, I didn't even go into my own office. And then finally, when we did start coming back into the office, it was on we had to work shift. So it was me and another person that worked in my department specifically, and it was whenever they weren't there, I was on the opposite of their day. So we did daily shifts, and just as I was leaving, they finally did a day crew, night crew setup. So, like, even on a military installation, we had very strict restrictions when it came to COVID and how we could operate.
I remember when my sister was in, she was in Australia and New Zealand. Can't remember which one it was. She was in both. She lived in both places, but it was really bad there. Like, Australia and New Zealand were super, super strict about everything.
No,
Hi, Max.
I mean, it wasn't just that. We even had our own, aircraft carriers in our own fleet that had some effects and stuff like that came with COVID and stuff like that. So it was an interesting time, and we're, again, still rolling out of it. There's still obviously out there little pops of it that come
it pops up and stuff, but it's not as dire because now we have the vaccines and we have, like, exactly. I'm assuming there's medicines. I mean, I was just kind of involved whenever it was the just vaccines, but I'm sure they have medicines for it now. I was a little cautious, I'm not someone who's against medicine and vaccines or whatnot, but I feel like just how quickly they came out with it, you can never be too safe or you can never be too cautious with it. But I feel like now, we've had enough time. I mean, it's been, like 2 years?
Well, my take on it was very, I wouldn't call it conservative nor liberal. I said if someone just simply said, hey, I need to go do it, then I'm going to do it.
That's how it was for me. I had to do it for work. So
exactly. I said either my job or the military is going to tell me, hey, you need to go get this. And the military told me to go get it.
Yeah.
I did it. And that was that.
It's really crazy. I mean, like, it's really crazy, especially, I guess, because I keep on bringing it up, but Florida moved on pretty quick. Like, we're completely back to normal. Like, there's some parts of New York.
I don't think Florida ever got from out of normal, honestly. There was a few that
there's about 2 weeks.
There's about 2 weeks. The tourist side of things than the actual state as a whole.
I couldn't imagine what it was like for, like, people in different countries. Like, actually, like, not, like, even Australia and New Zealand. Like, in countries where, like, I don't know, I feel like, especially countries that don't have great healthcare, like, I could only imagine, like, what was going on in, like, African and Indian countries or whatnot, where it seems like there's kind of that, they're more prone to sickness out there.
I mean, alone being in New York, and I mean, remember seeing videos and stuff like that. When I went to go see my family that lived up there and stuff, they're driving through the streets where there's not that many cars on the road.
Yeah.
They were just the essentials of whom and what's. It was like, usually you're used to seeing all this traffic. There was nothing.
There's two
I
scenarios.
could cruise on the road, no problem.
There's two scenarios that always play in my head whenever I think of, like, two separate people during the pandemic. The people that live in Antarctica, like the few people that live in Antarctica, like the 14 people, and, like, they don't have much communication. They have communication, but it's not much. Imagine them watching it from there. They're like, dude, if the world comes to an end, this is all we got.
I was thinking you're going to think of those that were in the International Space Station.
Ooh, that's the third one.
They're up there without a clue.
So now the second one would be, imagine going into a coma like 2 weeks or like a month before the pandemic and everything's normal, and waking up 2001. Like, oh my gosh, like it would be like The Walking Dead almost, I would feel like.
Post-pandemic.
And here's the thing is, there's no doubt in my mind there's probably a good 10,000 people that went through something similar like that. I feel like that's something that's kind of a slightly common occurrence enough. But
this analysis of what it came out to being, obviously, and still even now, is going to be the push that we need. And the fact that we're coming back as a society from it as drastic, we're not honing on that as much as it was for its time. I think that's what's going to be our give.
So now, when I got my accident when I was in the hospital, it was in that in-between stage of the in-between stage of COVID. It was 2001, July 2001. So this November of 2019, I think, is whenever like something started to come about. Like people were like, "What's going on over in China?" And then
paid attention there. I think there was.
And
even
then
like
it was March,
December of 2019, going into
and
January.
March is when it hit us, because that was when my spring break was in college.
Yeah.
And then 1 year later, like once things started, kind of people figured out their system. Then I got into my car accident, and I remember it's funny, so there was a lot I was skeptical to eat after my accident just because I wasn't sure what I could eat. It was funny, up in Pittsburgh, fast food restaurants were closing at 5 p.m. Gas stations weren't open past 7. So I remember whenever I was trying to try new foods, I couldn't. Anytime I would be able to or feel hungry finally or something, everything would be closed.
I had a unique aspect for myself because at the time frame I was also working as a volunteer firefighter.
Yeah.
So I kind of carried a double essential worker type of concept because one, I was working with the military. So I mean.
So you were in Jersey at this time or no?
I was in Jersey basically 2019. Actually, I got to Jersey in 2017, but I mean 2019 I was still in Jersey. July of 2020 I moved down here.
Okay.
So July of 2020 I moved down here. So I was really in the transitional phasing of things. By the time I got officially down here in about that August, September-ish time frame down here, I was working at the dealership.
Yeah.
It was unbothered. I really didn't have that effect. But up north, it was a whole nother ball game.
Well, it's crazy. I haven't really sat down and talked to anybody this much about the pandemic. It's kind of like you said, it was just pretty nonchalant here, and do what you will with that information, whether you're cool with it or not. I'm kind of glad that my life wasn't turned upside down as much as other people's were, and I do sympathize for the people that were stuck in that predicament. I don't know how I could, especially being as social as I am. I don't know how, because I was still able to do my open mics.
You're funny to say that. This is it. The entire world basically went to social media, and that's where TikTok really got its boom and stuff like that, because people were doing
everybody's stuck at home,
and everything was stuck at home. So
streaming
music
services boosted.
Everything's went through. This was the outlet to communication, and
I
here we
remember,
are now still utilizing it.
The Weeknd put out his album that's one of my favorites. Dawn FM. It was a really good album. It was funny. Jim Carrey narrates the album, and it's just funny because you would never have no idea. I didn't find out until a year afterwards, and I love the album, but it's structured like a radio station. There's commercials, there's they play songs, they talk about the songs after they're done playing, and then at the end Jim Carrey gives this whole poem that he wrote or whatever, and it was just talking kind of about the emotions you felt during. It probably wasn't directly just about the pandemic, but about a lot of stuff.
Isolation.
Just about, as dark as it sounds, but death and, passing on. A lot of the music was just about whenever you die, this music, for musicians, there's a radio station that plays that draws back on some of the biggest moments of your life and biggest memories.
Yeah.
And it was a really great album. It's still one of my favorite albums, one of my favorite music albums in general. I'm very picky about what I listen to music-wise. As you can tell, I mean, especially with my writing, it seems pretty all over the place, but I still like to...
No, you definitely have a style that you like to stick within, and that most artists do.
Yeah, and actually, so, fun fact, while I have you on here, I'm kind of glad that you said you were going to be able to come out tonight, is right now, we are in the process, we have a song uploading, me and Jake did together. under the handle Nice to Meet You. I'm releasing my song Father Figure. It'll be on all streaming platforms, hopefully by Friday. This is coming out on Friday, so hopefully by then. I'll put a link to it in the bio. I'll tag it here, see if I can't put a clip it to it. But no, it was funny. Jake and I were, me and him were just going over some stuff, and he figured out the right drum pattern for the song. And it was funny. I had done an open mic on last Monday, and I was like, I really like what this guy's doing, and I let Jake listen to it for a couple days and stew on it. And on Friday, I came over and we recorded about 6 or 7 songs.
If I'm not mistaken, we pretty much covered a good chunk of what the album was.
Yeah, what our album will be when it comes out. And but I really liked that Father Figure. And it's funny, I got hired for a private event on Saturday. And I texted him. While I was at the event, I was like, dude, are you busy? And he was like, no. I was like, dude, I got to come over and we got to record this. We got to re-record this. And
it was because in the idea, I was really happy with the way the recording came out the first time when we did it on Friday. But I'm the drummer, and I like to actually have my sound more than anything else. I'm kidding. But it was just a lot of drum heavy on the recording that it came through, just because I'm picky like that. So we redid it again on Sunday. It came out exactly crisp, and that's what you guys hopefully get to hear.
So, hopefully we'll have that out for you guys. And it also, one cool thing about it is I have bought into the system where it will allow you to use it on social media, whether you're using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. You'll be able to play our songs, like where you search up songs, and it'll be on there for you guys to use and listen to. It'll be on Amazon Music, Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio.
I can make a TikTok of me playing my song on my song.
Dude, you know how crazy that'd be? You know how crazy that would be? That'd be so meta. But no, this is gonna be the first step into releasing more music. I needed to actually do it, and it was funny. I had people all last week. We were like, dude, I want to listen to this song. It's like my favorite song you guys have. And once I heard it with the drums, I could not go back. I had to have the drums in it. And once I heard Jake do it flawlessly, honestly, so the last 30 seconds of the song is probably my favorite, and the rap part of the song where he switches up the tempo, and we go a little bit faster, and then at the end, the way he closes it out is just so...
You're giving me too much pride. I just do what I do. I'm a Leo. I have a big head. I hype myself up, but hearing it from the outside is nice.
Well, we're going to close out here. I'm glad that Jake got to come up here and talk with us.
Oh, I appreciate it, really.
This has been Breaking Brews, episode 10. And I really appreciate having Jackson up here to help me co-host. I appreciate Romeo for coming out here and talking to us about business. And there's a lot of questions. If you guys want to know more, we'll have him on way more in the future. I plan on doing a couple business episodes in the following months. But we have a lot of great stuff coming up for you guys. Stay tuned. In post-production, I'm going to plug right here. We are going to have a brand new Instagram that is strictly just for the podcast. And that's going to be something that's run by Lauren and I. But Lauren's really going to take the reins on that. But we're going to be trying new things. We're going to have my band come out here and perform sometime before a show, before an episode. We're going to have a couple other bands out here in town come out. We're going to have more comedians. We're going to have artists. We're going to talk to a lot of different people. And I'm really excited to see what happens come January, because it's a brand new year. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I'm your host, Mikey, too. And this is Jake from the band Nice to Meet You. And thanks so much for coming in, guys. Thanks, Jake. All right, now for those of you guys who are watching live, we are going to cut all this stuff around, and we're actually going to, so that's going to be put at the end. We just wanted to film it like it's a normal episode, and now the drink is returned. But yeah, we're going to actually bring up a buddy of mine. His name is, I'm going to wait till you get off screen because it'll look weird. Bring up my buddy again? Yeah. So I'm really excited right now. We're going to be having a buddy of mine come up here. He's pretty much the most business-savvy guy I've ever met. He does a lot throughout Florida. Dude's one of the most well-known people in Brevard County. And we're going to have him up. His name's Romeo. So give it up for Romeo, everybody.
our film schedule's a little out of whack today, so people that watch the live are gonna know why this is so out of the ordinary. But Romeo does a lot. Dude, I don't know how he has any free time to even come out here, but I managed to snag him on a night where he's not super busy.
Mikey.
So,
What's up, buddy?
what's up, dude? What are you drinking?
White Kratom, I believe.
White Kratom, what you got in it? It seems you got some flavor in it.
Actually, I let the chef, the bartender.
Ooh, you like Kate Brew. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. Explain who...
I'm Romeo, and I own a couple businesses out there, including a financial technology company that offers business loans. But I also own Mimo's Pizza,
Yeah.
a couple different ventures, an ice cream shop, Mimo,
Yeah.
Momo's Scoops, and Fiesta in downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm also opening soon an assisted living facility.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, he's got his foot in every door.
Yeah.
We,
you gotta venture out into, at least seven different streams of revenue. That's what that means.
It's pretty crazy to see. I mean, I've known you almost 4 years now, and it's crazy to see how much you've done in such a, in a realistic sense, a short time.
Well, you just gotta work hard every day, honestly.
Yeah,
You gotta wake up extra early. You gotta
dude's
just-
out there on every holiday running his businesses. He doesn't take time off too much, and when he does it well.
Yeah, you gotta keep going no matter what.
It's
just-
funny. You know a lot of people. It's kind of crazy. Like, I took a lot of inspiration in kind of my networking through you, and that's something we're gonna get into a little bit later, talking about networking. But we're gonna be Romeo's got fans in the audience tonight, so we got Louise out there. We love having him out here.
That's funny.
But so the first question I want to talk to you about today is when did you start to develop an interest in being a businessman? When did you realize I could do a lot with this?
Well, I was first supposed to be a pharmacist, believe it or not. I went to
Really?
school for. But then I wanted to know how money works, so I ventured out into finance and international business, really.
Okay.
So from there, I ventured out to technology and finance. There comes the fintech sector, right? The financial technology
Yeah.
sector. And that's really where my passion is.
Okay.
I think, that's where I've learned the most about different types of businesses. Hospitality,
Yeah.
construction. I'm now a GC.
Yeah.
A lot of different businesses that I'm in today is because of that one.
So I will say, whenever you were kind of getting into this, what was the biggest thing at the time that you think, it was almost kind of like a fad, but more like a stepping stone to where we are today? What was the up and coming thing at that time?
Well, honestly, I just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I figured, what can make me the most money out there? So I went and became a stockbroker on Wall Street. I've tried
Wow.
it all. I've worked, executive at Keurig. I was a vice president of a bank.
Wow.
You got to try it all. But for me, my passion was to make money. I needed to make money.
So one thing, you were saying, is you like to know how things work. I'm the exact same way. So whenever I was in my junior year of high school, I started working as an apprentice with the handyman company. And with a handyman, it's a multitude of things. You could be doing plumbing, you could be doing electrician work, you could be doing carpentry. I like to know how things work, and especially now with the podcast, I've spent the last month, for the first month or so, it was very iffy. We might have a really great episode this week, but next week it's kind of shoddy. I spent an entire month just learning audio stuff, camera stuff, how to present the stage a little bit better, how to keep something to draw the attention back to the stage, because retention's hard, especially nowadays with social media, with TikTok. People's attention span is 15 to 30 seconds. If you can't catch them in that first 15, 30 seconds, they're gone.
Well, it depends really you gotta deliver what they want, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, people ask me, for example, how do you start a business, or is that what you really want? You know,
So yeah, so what does it take to start? Like, where do you start to start your own business?
where do you start to start your own business?
Yeah, like what do you think is the best first thing to get down? I guess in a sense, like which
Well,
do
you
you think
gotta.
is better? Should you network first? How would you set up a game plan?
Well, it all depends on the type of business it is, first of all, but you just gotta actually wake up every day and push yourself
Yeah,
and you can't do the same thing. You know, the same thing gets the same result.
yeah,
Okay, you have to do something different to get a different result, right? So if you're doing the same thing every day, don't expect like a different result.
yeah,
That's not your. That's Einstein's definition of insanity, right?
yeah.
Like
Doing the
you're
same thing and expecting a different result.
right. So you can't do the same thing every day. So people ask, well, how do you start? You better change and adapt
Yeah.
to your environment, right? You better work hard every day, advertise, push.
I mean, some
Whatever
of the
the,
biggest business. I mean, if you look at what Amazon used to be, Amazon used to be just.
but it started in a garage, right?
It
As an
started.
idea,
Yeah,
right? A website.
yeah, and then
Okay.
they've expanded out to everything, and now they have like Amazon Studios where they're filming television, but they started out just renting out DVDs and CDs and stuff like that,
Right.
and now they're the number one shipping company in the world. They're on top of that, they have some of the best music, like best music streaming. They have television. It's crazy. They just put a
Again,
lot
how
into
many
it.
people probably told him that he'd never make it or it's a bad idea, but he still woke up every single day, got on his computer, and still continued on every day. So it takes that type of commitment to run a business and to have.
It can't be something you're half in, half out. Like you got to put 100% of it in, and that's the one thing is one thing I learned about like just kind of working with a lot of different businesses and seeing which ones stand the test of time. It's kind of funny. Every single year, I kind of take a bet, even locally, which businesses are going to grow and which ones are going to close because you can tell. Like I've gotten to the point where like I've watched a lot of businesses come and go, and I love watching it. It's almost like I don't watch any TV. This is my television, is watching how businesses decide to go. Like, one thing, it's more on the Kava side. Pauhana now has that location on Malabar. I didn't really know. I was kind of in between. I didn't know where they were going to go, but they expanded, and it did well. Some businesses, you don't need to expand right away. Like, build up what you have now and then expand later on once you have a good sturdy ground, because a lot of people think they see the first month or the first 2 months is like, oh, look how profitable this is. But the first 2 months or so, you're going to gain a lot of business just on curiosity. But if you can't keep them coming back with more new stuff, they're just going to leave.
Right.
They're going to go find something else new. And I've seen a lot of businesses come and go because they see, oh, this one thing works for me. I want to stick with it because I'm scared to step out. I'm comfortable in my spot. But getting comfortable with the business isn't the best idea, I would say.
I mean, again, you got to have a good plan, and if it works, it works. Don't get me wrong, right? But if it's not working, then you should be changing, adapting, like I
Yeah.
said, and doing something different. And if doing something different is working, then
Yeah.
keep on that. That you've got something there. And that's in any business again, right?
Yeah.
But it takes, if you are ready to be a business, most people, again, what do you want in life, right? What most people are like comfortable with, right? Are they comfortable with 100,000 a year, 200,000? What's like your number that some people it's no limit. Just
Yeah.
want to keep going. Like honestly myself, but for some other people there is a number that they're comfortable with,
Yeah.
that they want to say that they, I'm good with 200,000, a quarter million.
Yeah. So I will say one thing about you that stands out compared to I know almost every big business owner in Brevard and even a lot of the small mom and pop shop owners. One thing I notice about you is no matter where I go, someone knows who you are. You've really built like a big name for yourself in the sense that like not only do people know who you are, I see you everywhere. Like you you get
Honestly,
around to different businesses, which
but I
is
never wanted to be in the spotlight. This is the first time me doing something like this.
yeah,
Never really. I've always liked being in the background, just really investing into the right areas, helping, creating a plan, a system, all that, and
yeah,
having good managers, good people within my companies. Because having good people, honestly, they make my job easier, if that makes sense, right? I'm able to do other things if things are able to work on their own, and
yeah. One thing that I've noticed a lot with your business is you have very great consistency. You, I mean, no matter where, like, especially when you're talking, we have Mimo's Pizza. You have Mimo's in Merritt Island, Bayside Lakes, Cocoa Beach. You, it doesn't matter where you go. Like, I feel like some businesses really lack in, like, you hear like, oh, well, this is the original store, this is the best one or whatever. But every single one of your stores has that great consistency, and I feel like you do a really good job on keeping it that way. And now, how do you keep things for the most part consistent? Like, what's
just
the
have
best?
a good system, honestly. Right?
Yeah.
Like we have, a book we call the Bible that's sent out to all the locations on, how to prep everything, if that makes sense. Weight on the dough ball, everything from A to Z.
Yeah, I. It's crazy how long I've known you just to see like you've really stepped up and you've done the things that some people don't feel like comfortable to do. Like you actually put the pen to paper, you put in the work no matter what. Usually when that happens, we just cut and we start back to where we're at. So you're the person who puts the pen to paper, actually gets the work done. We were just talking about it today how like you you work in your restaurants. Like you're actually there working, and I don't like a boss that asks people to do something they won't do themselves. A good business owner is willing to get dirty. You're out there making pizzas, you're out there prepping, you're out there making the sauces for the pizza, and you do it in such big quantities. It's nice to see. Rory, I'm gonna kill you, boy. It's all right. Go get him. You're good. But you actually put the work in, and you go and you do it yourself, and you get dirty, and it's admirable to see a business owner, especially like to the fact where you do have a lot going on, that you still make time to stop by each of your businesses. Because I know tons of businesses, especially that where owners don't spend a lot of time in all their stores. They either stick to one and focus on that one because whether it's going downhill or it needs that attention, but you manage to work your time out where you're able to make it to every single business.
Yeah, so you got to be there, in emergencies. You got to have a good team, and that's what it is, building a
You're
good
always there to answer the phone. Like that's one thing
Yeah.
is throughout all the years and all the times I've worked for you is you're always the person I go to, whether or not like there could be other people I go to. I know that I'm going to get the answer I need, and what I need to get done gets done if I go to you.
team. And again, it's just, keeping good people, keeping them happy makes my job easier, right? So my job is, obviously I want everyone to do their job. Right?
Yeah.
And if they do that, they make me happy. And at the same time, they keep you happy, if that makes sense. It's hand in hand, really,
So
You got to have good people around you.
surrounding yourself with good people. Like I feel like even outside of business, just for your personal life, if you surround yourself with people that don't want to better themselves, either two things are going to happen. You're going to fall into the same mindset they have, or you're going to go above their mindset. You're going to do your own thing or whatnot. And I feel like it is really hard, especially now where I feel like now more than ever, kind of sticking with a clique, almost people getting comfortable, getting comfortable and set in their ways. And it's easier just to go with the flow and fit in. But the real business moguls, the real businessmen, do their own thing, I guess, in a sense. I don't know how to explain it it sounds almost a little complicated that way, but some people are good, like you said, good staying at that lower margin.
Right.
But the people that are willing to keep on going and, risk a little more to make a little more,
Right.
That's all a business is a
Most
risk.
people think like a CEO's job is easier than, you know, the groundwork. I mean, that's not always true, depending on the days, you know, whether it's meeting, reading reports, different type of work, you know. So I understand both sides.
Hmm.
I've been on both sides. Okay, I've been an employee, I've been an owner, you know. I understand both sides, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So one of the last things I wanted to talk to you about was, oh shit, I'm drawing a blank. One of the last things I wanted to ask you was, shit, it's really drawing a blank on it. Had something to do with, because you were speaking a lot of good stuff,
Would
and
you
I
want
was,
to learn how to get a loan to start your first business?
yes. So I feel like that is one thing, like, they just do not teach. They don't teach you, especially like in high school. I feel like there should be a class that teaches you on how to take a business loan out, how to build your credit, how to do your taxes, stuff like that. It's even like the song that I was writing about is like, I wish when I was younger, I wish someone would have taught me how I could buy a house, how to get a loan,
How a mortgage works, right?
how a mortgage works. So maybe you could explain that to the people at home that are like me and don't have that knowledge. Like you could be you could be influencing the next business, Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs. So how do you go about getting a mortgage or getting a loan for a business? Like what loans would you get? Because I know there's so many different kinds of loans.
Well, first you gotta have a good credit out there. You know, someone told you that credit doesn't matter. They have no idea
Yeah.
how that works. Okay, so your credit has to be good. You know, whoever you have to pay off, pay off. Call those creditors, do what you got to do, and that's really the first step. You know, because it's either you have that or you have collateral
Yeah.
to borrow against. You know, I'm not sure, or I should be telling anyone that they should use any property or anything to take out a loan on a dream that they might not even have a good plan, or maybe they do. But again, there's ways to get loans out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so it's kind of funny. So some of my favorite movies, like I have based a lot of my favorite movies on how many times I've watched them. Some of my favorite movies of all time is going to be, Max, I'm going to kill you, bro. I'm going to kill you. I'm literally going to kill you. Do not.
That's on tape.
Yeah, there's my threat. Max is gone. If he dies in a week, I'm screwed. But I base some of my favorite movies on how many times I've watched them. And one of my favorite movies is the movie The Founder, which is about the Ray Kroc, the guy who kind of swindled the McDonald's business out from the original owners. And it's crazy, like he put like the way that he did a lot of his loans is he put his house on for collateral and he lost his house. And like it's one of those risks where like he got lucky that in the long term he took a big risk like that and it paid off. But sometimes it doesn't take a risk like that. Like I remember the movie The Greatest Showman. The guy, I don't know how accurate this is, but to get a loan to buy that first museum that had like all like the wax animals and stuff, he put down collateral with these ships that he found out like with insider knowledge that they had sunken in the middle of the ocean. But back then there wasn't readily available info like that. So he got like $100,000 in that time to buy a building and build up this whole event with collateral like that. And it's crazy, like it's crazy the risks you have to take with something like that. I feel like there should be more options or whatnot, and there are.
I mean, there is. Again, you could, like, you know, my company, Nebula Financial, can actually lend against, you know, fix and flips.
Yeah.
Rentals, give you mortgages.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to. There's always a good deal out there, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
There's bad deals and there's good deals, like anywhere, right? There's some really good deals out there. I could tell you that though.
So, I guess okay. So this is one question that I had on my mind because I remember you talking to me about this before. about just when we were kind of brainstorming what we might talk about on here with taxes. Taxes are really complicated. I can only imagine how more complicated they get for someone who owns a business. So now, one thing, like the common knowledge I have is there's write-offs. Now, what considers a write-off? Like, what can you use?
Profitable to get a write-off.
What's that?
You got to be profitable to get a write-off, right? So people say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep spending. It's just gonna be a write-off, right?"
Yeah.
But then you put your bank account in the negative. How are you?
Yeah.
It's not that kind of write-off. Like you buy a watch, that's not a write-off.
Yeah. So okay. So I get that. So now, like specifically, I guess for kava bars, there's a few things that usually a kava bar will take. Like they'll go out and take and put on a cart, and it usually be your brewing equipment, the electronics, and
That's
stuff
all
like that.
company expenses. That's what they mean by writing it off, right?
Yeah.
The company's spending it like it spends it on this cup right here. It's not making money out of this cup. It's just
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's just the liquid inside the cup.
Yeah.
So it's and then when it breaks, what happens? They
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah. One thing so it's crazy to see. I like watching. So I watch a YouTube channel where it talks about how certain businesses were started. History of Sony. So it's called Magnates Media, and they talk about every single company. They talk about where the company started, and they do a lot of stuff like this. And I watch a lot of the show Shark Tank as well, and it's crazy to see some of the original owners, by the time they get to where they are, like nobody is the original owner of most of the Fortune 500 companies because something happens where they can't afford it, and they either sell early because
Sometimes they appoint a CEO.
Yeah.
Someone that's more used to being, on Wall Street. Knowing how to sell and get investors. That's really the key factor, right?
It's crazy to see like how, especially on Shark Tank, you see it more than anything else, is where some of these businesses will be like, oh, I want X amount of money or whatnot, and then they go back and they do it's something where it's like checking in on their businesses, and some businesses are closed and under and bankrupt because they use that money that they were given to go on these trips and show a flashy lifestyle to give the impression that they're making money on their business. Yeah, it's fraud. Yeah, and it's crazy to see how common
there's fraud out there. There's Ponzi schemes out there.
It's got to be so hard to not fall into that.
All these different, I've heard of cryptocurrency funds and.
I'm so skeptical about stuff like that. Like, I've heard a lot of good stories, but I've heard more horror stories about those things.
Like Hyperverse was the last one.
The NFTs, the NFTs, man.
NFTs with all those artworks.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Like, don't get me wrong. I have made a lot of stupid financial decisions, even in the short time that I've had the ability to make stupid decisions. But there's some things I couldn't imagine doing. Like, at least like times where like I've spent money kind of frivolously, there's been some kind of long-term enjoyment out of it. But like where people go and they spend money on going to Dubai or going to Fiji or going on all these vacations, buying planes, buying cars and stuff like that. Like there were times even whenever I did have that like kind of cushion where I could spend money, where I thought, I want this car. And I was like, but realistically, do I need it? What I have right now works. So where do you recommend people can save money, but it's not a bad place to do it? Like, where are some places that you can kind of save money?
Well, I don't definitely put it I don't put it in my bank account. I can tell you that. The money that I save, I either buy an Apple or Microsoft stock every single time, and I think about my savings as savings, so I don't use it. And if I need it, I put enough. You put enough into those stocks, you could borrow against it.
Yeah.
But that is also good. You could also learn how to buy, life insurance policies from people, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not particularly. So you said buy life insurance policies from someone or for someone?
From someone.
So how does that work?
So someone that bought a life insurance policy on someone else or themselves.
Yeah.
and kind of can't afford to continue on the payments.
Okay.
And usually what happens is like by the end of that term, let's say it's 10 or 20 or 30,
Yeah.
you'll get back all your money plus like 12 or 15% interest on it.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you become the beneficiary and you bought that policy since someone is saying that, listen, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it up. But before I give it up, can someone give me some, make me a deal? Like, you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then they'll sign it off and you continue the payments.
Okay.
And if you become the beneficiary and they do happen to kind of,
Yeah.
then you get that.
Interesting. I've never heard of something like that. That's crazy.
You can buy debt. It's the same thing.
Really.
You can buy debt. You can buy. You can.
Okay.
Open up
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
debt
Yeah. Okay.
collections
That I
company,
understand
right?
more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you could buy debt, and you could be one of those annoying companies that calls people. You know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and
Yeah.
says, "Hey, you owe us
You know, if-
$600 from Capital One or whatever it is."
Yeah.
Debt collectors. They buy debt.
I feel like so. I mean, people are always going to go into debt. There's always going to be people in debt because it's so. I mean, sometimes the most dangerous credit cards are the ones that are so easy to get. They're like, oh yeah, man, we'll give you X amount of spending limit, and they know you can't afford that.
Well, that minimum payment is just the interest.
Yeah.
So don't make the minimum payment. I can tell you that.
So, last question is, what is the best advice you can give to somebody?
Damn, work really hard, pursue your dream, and then keep going and do something more, and keep going and do something more. You know, don't just stop. Don't be content. I mean, some people get content easily. Again, you know, if you want more, like, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going for more. Open more businesses. Be open to diversifying those businesses. You know, don't be afraid to get in the ground and learn everything about your business before you open it.
I will say that I can understand that and relate with that a little bit more because there has been, like, especially over the last couple weeks or whatnot, where we've finally gotten into our groove, but it has put a lot of stress on me. But someone was like, well, dude, why not just take a couple months off and then come back? I was like, if I stop now while I have this momentum, it is going to be 1,000 times harder to come back into it. And like, I would rather keep on making episodes where like 50 people see it instead of like 200 people. I would rather keep doing it because I'm still having fun with this. I have fun writing for the episodes. I have fun getting to interview people. I have fun learning. Like, that's why I talk to a lot of people. Like, I like talking to people and
You're
learning.
editing this shit, right?
What's that?
You're editing this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, keep going.
Yeah.
You know, keep going and do something else, and keep going with that.
Yeah.
And do something else. It's like playing basketball and trying to shoot. You know, if you're not taking the shots, you're not gonna make it. You know. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
You have to keep taking those shots. You know, if your passion is just, you know, this or whatever you want it to be, and that's what you're just wanting, and that's it. And
Yeah.
you get it. Then that's what you're gonna be content doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, whether it makes 100,000 or 100 million, that's what you're content doing, and I understand that too. So you have to find out what you want, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here and talking, especially because you're just so busy. I'm really glad I could catch on a night where you come out, and I'm sure you've dropped a lot of knowledge on here that a lot of people needed to hear, especially because, like, here's the thing is if people don't share that knowledge that they have, it'll just go to waste. That's why whenever I learn stuff, I just try and pass it on to the next person.
I mean, again, it doesn't take much licensing to be able to offer a loan or get into that industry of financing. You know, most people think it take a college degree, but honestly, it didn't. I have one, but it didn't need it.
Yeah.
You know, it needed just a high school diploma to get a stockbroker's license.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always room to grow, and finding the right team, and you can grow with it. You know, and that's what I've been trying to do: finding and building the right team.
Well, obviously you're doing something right.
Yeah, trying.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate it. See you, buddy. All right, guys. Well, I just want to thank everybody one last time for coming on tonight and talking. You know, it's not always easy getting up here, and I really appreciate all the guests we had today. I appreciate Jacob coming out here. I appreciate my audio visual team. Thank you, Alex. Lauren's going to be back soon. We're really excited. She will most definitely be back here on Monday. This time she wasn't sick. She was just in New Orleans, and she was out there. And I'm really glad that we got to be able to have this episode. I think this is just one big step into having a few more businessmen onto the podcast to kind of explain certain things. I think the next time we're for sure going to be talking about how you can learn to file your own taxes, how to communicate things better as an adult, you know, how to speak more professionally. That's one thing I could for sure work a lot on. But thank you guys so much for being here on this episode of Breaking Brews. I'm your host, Mikey, too, and make sure if you guys want to support us, make sure you guys check out the links down below. If we have that new social media, make sure you guys go like and follow it. We appreciate everything you guys have done for us, all the support you've shown us for the last 2.5 months. We're almost on to month 3. Thanks for helping us get to episode 10, guys. We'll see you next week.